FOYE OLUOKUN, if you ask me, is one of the most unique and interesting stories in the NFL. Of course, there's hundreds of them across the league. Good players in college, great players in college who maybe go a little unnoticed in the NFL for most of their or all of their career. I'm not sure how much longer FOYE OLUOKUN can go, under the radar per se. He's over 100 tackles for the year already for the Jags after their 28-27 win over the Ravens. He got a lot of attention, deservedly so. 18 tackles, I think 12 solo. 2 tackles for loss. As a Ravens fan and content creator, it was kind of a lot of duality watching the game because I was smiling that he was playing so well. I had done some videos on the Jags earlier in the season because of Trayvon Walker and Devin Lloyd, to be honest with you. I did rookie videos to try to get new people exposed to my channel, and I really like those 2 players in the draft process. Who didn't like Trayvon Walker, right? Who didn't like Devin Lloyd? In any case, after 3 weeks of watching them in the 2022 season, I was like, who is this guy, number 23? He just kind of showed up on film. You just could tell that he was someone who knew how to play against the run in the past, knew where to fit, but was also incredibly prepared in terms of film study and pre-snap communication and checks. And you see some really cool examples of that in this Ravens game. I've got, I think, 13 plays. Not every one of them is great. There's a pass play, I think, where he kind of takes his eye off the receiver at some point. At one juncture in the game, I think he had 7 of the first 11 tackles. Maybe it was 7 of the first 12, something like that. And admittedly, 3 or 4 of them were on like 5 or 6 yard gains. But as you're going to see in this film, a whole heck of a lot of them are around the line of scrimmage. And I think that film study and formational awareness is just something that FOYE OLUOKUN does a whole lot better than a lot of other people in the NFL who, to be perfectly honest with you, I think don't spend as much time focusing on formations and tendencies as they should. And FOYE OLUOKUN, I think, is example number 1. Obviously, the title is tongue-in-cheek, toward his apparel brand or something like that. I'll try to put a link in the description to it, to do it justice. But I think it has something to do with the moniker Ugly. But in any case, let's get to the film. 18 tackles, 12 solos, and a lot of them are on Gus Edwards, which, if you watch this channel at all, you know what I think of Gus Edwards. So early in the game, pass concept to Mark Andrews. And, I don't think that their corner on the left, the Jags corner on the left, played particularly well here. It looks like a short check route and then running up the slot. OLUOKUN would not be defending this route by Andrews at all. But the reason why I included this play is he's telling linebackers what to do on every time when Ricard lines up. There's something that they picked up on with Ricard and with our other personnel groups that FOYE OLUOKUN is communicating things to people. And even, watch his helmet. He's currently looking at Andrews. Now, it doesn't work out in their favor on this play, but as soon as Ricard goes in motion, he's pointing in this direction and saying something to that linebacker. I have no idea what he's saying. It doesn't help out. This is the first play of the game. I think it's a 25-yard gain to Mark Andrews. FOYE OLUOKUN would not be involved in stopping that play, but as you can see, he is actually involved in bringing Mark Andrews down, or he's there as Mark Andrews is being tackled. Great pursuit. That's why I included this play to show you the pre-snap communication that he has and then the hustle and the burst to get to the football. All right, so let's start to talk about some plays that he is involved in. OLUOKUN up top here. It's going to be a sweep to Duvernay. First possession. It's a 3rd and 2. And me personally, I wouldn't want to get my D-end or my inside linebacker. One of those 2 guys cannot get outflanked by this running back. Somebody has to be outside the running back. Somebody has to be inside the running back on this sweep. Trayvon Walker is settling for the quarterback, presumably. So to me, OLUOKUN's got to get outside of this running back and turn Duvernay back into the backside inside linebacker or safety who's going to be late. He still does make the tackle. This will be one of the examples from this game where I would say he didn't play it perfect. We'll slow motion it, let you see it. Watch his helmet. Trying to get the slow motion to work properly. Look at his helmet. He's looking across the field at Duve now. He understands our formations, for real. And he's prepared for them. In my opinion, he's got to get outside Hill. He determines to go inside. He does make the tackle. I think the safety 32 does. Ends up being a 6-yard gain on a 3rd and 2. All right, again, communication, pre-snap. They've got two inside linebackers in the game, Muma and Olukun. And then this hybrid linebacker safety nickel, I guess, number 42. I'm not sure what he's classified as, but size-wise, he looks like a nickel safety. And this is an RPO that the Ravens have run. They've shown it on film. Is it other guys on the Jags defense who recognize the formation? I'm sure, yes. But watch what they do on this split flow. When I say split flow, I mean you got Prochet running the wheel, and then you're going to get two linemen pulling, the right guard, Zeitler, and the right tackle. What they've done is they've predetermined, they being the Jags, who's going to be responsible for what. Because 42 goes this way, opposite the direction of the football. Why? Because of the pulling lineman. Olukun is sitting, and he's going to react to whatever happens. If the ball is thrown out here to the flats, he'll react to it. He's basically the third defender from the sideline. If Lamar was to give the football and the running back, bring it front side, which he, would not, he would follow these two pulling linemen. Olukun and Chad Muma would be there to play it. I personally think this should be a give, and the Ravens have numbers up to the top side. But in any case, it ends up being a fumble by Mark Andrews. Olukun is there, first contact, and then Jenkins, I think the DB, is the guy who actually forces the fumble. Olukun's involved in everything. He's literally involved in every play, it seems like. Again, look at his helmet. He's looking over here. He's looking at Prochet go in motion. This is the end zone angle, same play. And watch when he settles, or before he settles. Bad ball security by Andrews. I actually had bad ball security by Gus Edwards on the last play that I'm going to show you. Watch when he moves with Prochet. He points at something. There's either one of two guys he's pointing at. He's either pointing at the tight end or he's pointing at the right tackle. In my opinion, he's pointing at the right tackle. And he's saying he's getting ready to pull. I have no proof of that, but I know the Ravens' offense, and it appears to me that FOYE OLUOKUN knew it just as well, if not better, than a whole lot of us that watch hundreds of hours of film. And he only got 1 week to look at it, right? That's I'll tell you how professional someone is. They get 1 week to look at something, and they can break it down and understand it conceptually just as well, if not better, than someone like myself who's watched hundreds of hours of Ravens film. All right, second possession again to 2nd and 3. And he's going to tackle Gus Edwards. I mean, he tackled Gus Edwards like 4 or 5 times in this game. Gus is a beast. I like the fit. It's power. So Powers is pulling. Ricard is kicking. And they're in a 5-3. So again, it's Lloyd, Olukun, and Muma. They're in a 5-3 defense against 22 personnel. So they're just overwhelming us with numbers. And Olukun ends up being unblocked. That's him locking up Gus Edwards right there. Watch the combo by Oliver and Moses, and we just can't block both of these guys. We can't do it. We don't have enough guys, even though we're pulling the backside guard. Olukun's unblocked, finishes the play. I think it's a 2 or 3 yard gain. 2-yard gain, because here's the same play from the all-22 angle. He did this to Ben Powers multiple times this game. Either took Ben Powers on and stood him up, basically stalemated him, or went inside of the pull. Maybe I should have explained this from the end zone angle, but you can see Powers is pulling, and he's going to get Muma, the front side inside linebacker. Essentially, Olukun is the Mike, and he's going to fit on the inside of Powers' pull. And that's right where Gus goes. It's the only place the ball could go. Just beautiful play, man. Like I said, the title is obviously very tongue-in-cheek, saying ugly, because there's nothing ugly about it from a FOYE OLUOKUN standpoint. Pre-snap, ton of communication. Here is him blowing up Powers. And that's him on the bottom of the pile. Run it one more time, slow-mo, and then I'll pull it back pre-snap so you can see it. He's blowing up Powers on the inside, getting Gus around the feet. Beautiful play by an inside linebacker. Apparently played DB in college for at least part of his career. And then transitioned to linebacker. I guess was told things like, you don't move like a linebacker. To me, he is what a lot of people think JOK is. He's a complete linebacker involved in every play, run, pass. Not a guy who gets pulled off the field in pass situations. So look at his pre-snap. He's pointing at Ricard. And then after pointing at Ricard, now he's pointing to this side. He's saying Ricard is going in motion there. That's where the play is going. This should be example A for Ravens fans of why we need to motion Ricard and then run back the other way. And when we do those things, the play generally works. So Ricard motioned here. Powers pulled. Pretty predictable. Olukun fits it perfectly. Tackle for loss on Gus Edwards. How many people tackle Gus Edwards for a tackle for loss or a 0-yard gain? Not many. FOYE Olukun did it like 4 times in one game. I thought it was an amazing performance. I'm going to do this every week as a Ravens content creator, highlight someone for another team that played well or maybe didn't play well. I'm going to do a video on Travon Walker versus Patrick McCarry. I don't think Travon Walker played very well, and I'm a big fan of his. Again, that was the entire reason I discovered FOYE Olukun in terms of watching the film and going, wow, was because I wanted to watch film of Travon Walker and Devin Lloyd. And I just didn't think that Travon Walker played very well. I thought Patrick McCarry did a nice job against him. Now, having said that, I will show you a play in this video that illustrates how freaking talented and strong Travon Walker actually is. All right, another tackle for loss on Gus. You saw him highlighted pre-snap. This is a stretch play. Walker's doing a pretty good job against Ricard and McCarry, to be honest with you. Off on this left side, running outside zone or stretch. They're trying to combo him. McCarry's got to try to work up to Olukun, and you can see what Olukun is doing. He's going horizontally at an angle. Great job by Josh Allen, too, at the backside DN. Don't get me wrong. Olukun's pretty excited. He should be. He's going horizontally with the flow, and then he's going to jam back inside. I think he understands what's happening with the tackle, having to get out and help Ricard. Travon Walker's going to win that matchup against Pat Ricard, or he should, right? And then he understands, okay, if I hit this now, I can force this guy to go to me, and now I leave Travon with the one-on-one with Ricard, essentially. And so I think regardless of whether McCarry gets him or not, Travon Walker's got an opportunity to win that matchup with Pat Ricard. That's just one of the advantages to having a huge, talented, fast guy out on the edge like Travon Walker. Same play, all 22 angle, so it's going to be a stretch concept up here. Just so you can see the line of scrimmage is the 20, and where FOYE Olukun, or when FOYE Olukun crosses the line of scrimmage. Look, he's at the line of scrimmage, the 20. Where's Gus? He's 4 yards in the backfield. So, I mean, you just have to, I think there has to be some real pre-snap recognition by FOYE Olukun, and that helps him out. That's why you do film study. That's why you look at personnel and formations so you can be prepared for those specific situations. Personally, as someone who was a defensive coordinator in high school and tried to prepare kids and open their eyes to those tendencies, like this just appeals to me for real. All right, 10-yard gain to Ricard on a pass concept out to the right flats. And they're putting him in conflict, they being the Ravens offense. They're putting him in conflict. Still, he brings down Pat Ricard, who's like 305, 310 pounds. He brings him down. I think he's going to bring him down anyway. And then the corner comes up to help. Now, Ricard could have drug him for some more yards, don't get me wrong. But he's everywhere. I've shown you, I just showed you the previous play, him tackling Gus Edwards in this area, right downhill. Now this next, and again, the first play of the game I showed you, somewhat similar part of the field, he tackled Mark Andrews, or was involved in a tackle like way down here, right, 25-yard gain. Now this is a horizontal play where they're threatening him with Andrews, and then you got the vertical by Duve, and then out into the flats with Ricard. This third possession. Ravens probably should have done this more often with either Ricard or Andrews or someone motioning out into the flats. I just think FOYE Olukun is one of those guys that's got everything. And he's not scared of anyone. Like that's him currently locked up with Patrick Ricard. And almost kind of like a little bit of extracurricular activity. All right, this is a game-changing play. Yes, the spot is bad in my opinion. Ravens are up 6-0, third possession. 3rd and 2 from the 50 or 49. Look at the communication. Guys, he knew Duvernay was going to motion. Now we have the benefit, obviously, of seeing the play, but you tell me what he's signaling. Get him point. He knows the play. He knows that it's QB power read. So it's either going to be, the sweep to Duve, and the running back leading, just like I showed you a couple, like on the third play, I think I showed you, right? Or it's going to be the guard pulling. Well, the guard's going to pull nonetheless. Lamar fake the sweep and then keep it after a little bit of a ride, right? And that's what happens. Watch how he hard joints Ben Powers. Sets him back inside. Do I think Lamar gets the first down? Yes. But, I understand that, they didn't spot it as a first down. The TV broadcast kind of was a little misleading because they told us it was a first down, and you can clearly see, hopefully the video goes long enough. Now, you're actually not going to be able to see it. You have a little bit of a banner up at the top of the screen. There's the ref's foot right there you can see. I have a little bit more of his upper torso and upper body on my source screen. He's actually holding his arm up in the air to indicate that it is not a first down, according to his spot. So we were just given a little bit of misleading information. Having said that, I still think it's close, but no matter what, great play by FOYE Olukun post-snap. You also get, I think, a pretty poor job of blocking by Powers and Pat Ricard. There's Lamar laying, mostly to this side of the 0 and the 50. And if you pull this back, the first down marker is, I think it is there. And we'll see it, I think, as the play zooms out some. I mean, if people want to make a big deal of the spot. I mean, I'm over it. I'm just pointing out, the first down is clearly right there on the 49. You guys can't see it again, but the marker is right there, even with the plus 49. I think Lamar is there, but, it's close. End zone angle, you'll see the job by Ricard is pretty poor. Look at Olukun. He's pointing definitively. He knows the play. He's telling Devin Lloyd, hey, come on over here now. Don't waste time. I think he wants Devin Lloyd, here, so Lloyd can be involved in the play. The Ravens have to come back and attack the backside of this, which they did the previous week against the Panthers, with motioning toward the running back, toward Ricard, and then the throw going to the backside to Demarcus Robinson. Look at the job that he does to Ben Powers. Right there. Same foot, same shoulder, collisioning, more power. Some people call it hard joint. Some people call it just setting it inside, making the gap smaller. I don't think Ricard did a good job here comboing with Moses, again, on the front side DN in a 5 technique. It's kind of like a wide under front. Ricard gets beat. 95 crosses his face. But Oluokun's doing a great job. Those two combine, to hold Lamar short. And we know how the 4th and 1 quarterback sneak finished. It's finished on the fumble that was really game-changing because the Jags scored thereafter, I think, to go up 7-6. Run by Drake for 6 yards. Now, this is a 6-yard gain, so it's a positive play. But I want to talk about this. I think he really understands our concepts. When I say he, I mean Olukun. You're getting a down block by Powers and a pull by Linderbaum. He's the first puller. Then there's a second puller, which is Moses, the right tackle, okay? So you're getting 2 guys pulling. Watch where he fits, he being Olukun. He fits on the inside of Linderbaum. He's wrong-arming this because he knows he's got a bonus player over here. That's the bonus player. Because the second puller ends up inside of Linderbaum. You see what I mean? So Olukun is just basically jamming that gap up. Now, it still does end up being a 6-yard gain because Drake just follows the second puller, Moses. And we've done a pretty good job with Makari of getting up to the backside inside linebacker. I offer to you that if Olukun takes on the outside shoulder of Linderbaum, that's probably 8 or 12-yard gain or maybe even more. He's one of my favorite players to watch. This was not one of my favorite videos to make from the standpoint of the Ravens losing, but I don't see sometimes when I look across YouTube and I don't see a whole lot of content about a particular player and I feel like he's underrepresented in terms of the skills, in terms of what he offers, I want to, when I can, use my channel to try to promote understanding of how good a certain player is. I feel like that's what I want to do more of as a content creator for the Ravens. Is highlight, where people are playing extremely well and not getting the credit for it. Now, look, I said earlier I didn't think Trayvon Walker played very well. This is an amazing play. This is QB counter read. So the back is crossing Lamar's face, and he could give it to the back. And then you've got both guards pulling, Powers to kick, Zeitler to wrap. You can't kick out a guy who isn't down blocked. The scheme, you're either supposed to kick him or supposed to kick this guy. For whatever reason, we chose to try to down block Trayvon Walker. Nope. Look at what he's done to Josh Oliver. That's amazing. That right there is enough to say, hey, he didn't have statistical impact this game. I don't think he did a great job pass rushing at all. But he totally destroyed a run play, QB counter read that, the Ravens have been destroying people with. Now, this is similar to what the Bills did in the playoff game in 2020 against the Ravens. They brought a guy off the edge to the running back side and then gave Lamar, what appears to be a keep read. In my opinion, he should give this. I just think he should give it. They're bringing a safety off the edge. They've got a second guy, Trayvon Walker, who is absolutely destroying the down block and sitting in the hole. FOYE Olukun isn't, involved in a play yet, but keep watching. He's the guy who makes the tackle. Do I think that absent FOYE Oluokun's pursuit, that Lamar's going to break that or something? Well, no, I don't. I think somebody's going to tackle him. But FOYE Olukun is the guy who did. Goes down as a tackle for loss. So he's got tackles for loss in the same game against Gus Edwards and Lamar Jackson. How many people can say that? All right, a pass play that I don't think looks, really great for FOYE Olukun, to be honest with you. I think his drop is very good. I think he sees the route that he should cover and then unfortunately lets his eyes look back at the quarterback. All zone becomes man at some point. This is a 5-3. He's not assigned to guard the tight end man. But once he identifies Josh Oliver here, you can see his helmet turn. To me, he's just got to lock up on him. Stay with him. He does not. Oliver sits. Lamar, great play. Great find. Just a beautiful angle of the throw by Lamar, if you ask me. End zone angle. You see him moving to his left, throwing it back to his right perfectly, and Oluokun's there for the tackle, but it's a 12-yard gain. So we would have to say that's not a positive play. It's not one that presents him in a good light as far as a pass defender, but I think he's more than capable, even though most of the plays you're seeing here is tackles on run plays. 8th drive, 0-yard gain by Edwards. Look at his hand. He knows where the ball's going, guys. Now, we do too, because we watch the Ravens a lot, and we understand that when we're running option generally, it's opposite where the fullback lines up. That fullback could be Ricard, it could be Likely, it could be Andrews. 2019 and before he got hurt. In 2020, it was Boyle. But he's lined up here specifically close enough to the quarterback such that he can go to this side and read the D end in the same way that Lamar does. It's a dual read, right? Now, it appears as if Ricard is reading this as a keep read because he's looping outside. I just can't understand that. This is a give read all the way, watching this D end. And Olukun knows it. He fits inside. Boom. Great play. 0-yard gain to Gus Edwards, which just doesn't happen that often. And it happened 4 or 5 times in this game. I think FOYE Olukun was the main reason why. All 22 view. What I think should happen is this tightly aligned X, or Y, if you will, because he's a tight end, should go get the front side inside linebacker if he walks up, but he's just walked up too close. There's no way to stop this if it's option. To me, the only way to stop it is for the tackle to take him now. And then, we probably don't block the backside inside linebacker, which is who Moses goes and gets. If he's going to walk up, which he did, meaning Olukun, the tackle's got to take him. He's not walked up inside, though, and I think Olukun understands that. I'm going to go back to the end zone angle and show you this. When he starts to creep, he's not creeped up such that he's just inside of Moses in a way that Moses can take him down. To me, he understands our rules, that Moses is going to combo to the backside linebacker. And so he's going to fit off of that because Ricard on a keep read by Lamar would loop around. Now, this line's not drawn at a great angle, to be honest with you, because, the angle of the screen, the angle of the camera view. Ricard on a keep read by Lamar would loop around the D end and go get Olukun. On a give read, Ricard should go inside and go get Olukun. In any case, Ricard is assigned to him. So I think Ricard misread this, went outside, and Olukun took advantage. Smart player. I think there's a lot of games within the game that he understands and that he's playing that a lot of other players, maybe younger guys, are not playing. Even in the NFL. I said it. Because the Ravens line up in some of this stuff every week, and it's not always identified. Now, division opponents, I feel like, do a pretty good job. Olukun is not involved in this one, to be honest with you. This is the forced fumble, very uncharacteristic of Gus. So it's not like Olukun was the only guy that made plays, right? I mean, they made enough plays. They deserve to win. The Ravens deserve to lose that one. As a Ravens fan, longtime Ravens fan, and content creator, it brings me no joy to say that. But we had opportunities to get a little more separation, and guys like FOYE Olukun and others for the Jags helped them stay close when, especially in the first quarter. 6-0 could have been 10-0. And were we to convert that first down at midfield, late first quarter, early second quarter, 6-0 could have been 13-0, or 10-0 could have been 17-0. The gameplay was very different, and I think one of the only factors keeping the game close was FOYE Olukun. He was everywhere. I think he had 7 tackles in the first quarter. I know 5 of the plays, maybe 6 that I showed you, were from the first quarter. 5 of them. 3 from the first possession, 2 from the second possession. Well, and then actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 of them that I showed you is from the first quarter, culminating in his tackle on Lamar on the QB power read on 3rd and 2 that the ref at the top side spotted short, and the broadcast team told us was a first down as they went to a little break, and then when they came back, all of a sudden the ball was spotted short. Amazing game by the Jags and FOYE Olukun. Man, one of my favorite players. This is one of the things I want to do is highlight unheralded guys across the NFL and bring a little bit more attention. With whatever skills and understanding I have, is try to bring a little bit more attention to some of the things they do that may be going unnoticed. Because, like people talked about it in the Monday night game, Troy Aikman spent 80% of the time talking about the quarterback and the receivers. There's a whole lot more going on to appreciate on the field in the NFL or college or high school or youth. There's a whole lot more going on to appreciate than just quarterback play or just running back play or just receiver play. And I feel like FOYE Olukun is an easy example for me to use to show that because, when you watch him, his skills and his impact are incredibly obvious. Let me know what you think of my breakdown. If you think I missed any elements. I only showed film from the Jags win over the Ravens, but I have a lot of film of him from 2022 that will probably be used in an off-season film study. Let me know if you think I missed any elements, and let me know what you think of his game. If you see him in the same light as I do, to be honest with you, I'll just go ahead and say it. I think he's one of the best inside linebackers in the NFL. In terms of being involved at the play, he had 16 tackles earlier in the year against the Eagles, I believe, in a game where I think the Jags competed. He only had 7 tackles last week against the Chiefs. When I say last week, I mean the week, I guess what will be week 10 before they played the Ravens, because I think the Jags had a bye in week 11, and then they upset the Ravens in week 12. I think he's an amazing player. 113 tackles already. He had 192 in 2001. That's an amazing number. How many people have ever had 190 tackles in an NFL season? It's got to be a small number of people. And then he's on track to even exceed that number this year. Appreciate you guys' time. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments section.